Hello guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to another movie review. Tonight we're looking at 1975's Slade in Flame. Now this is a music film based on a group, not Slade, but we'll get to that. But before we do, let's have a look at the special features on the disc. So this is the main menu for Slade in Flame. We'll have a little look at the special features. You've got Make Way for Noddy, Noddy Holder interview, the making of Slade in Flame, this week men's fashions, the original trailer, theatrical trailer for the 2025 re-release, Slade in Flames. You also have an audio commentary with Richard Longcrane and critic Mark Kermode. They are the features on Slade in Flame. Yeah, there's some okay features on there. I'm really interested in listening to the audio commentary with Mark Kermode because I do like his views on things. They're very similar to mine. And he is a big fan of Slade like me, so that's going to be pretty cool. But let's hit the story. So this is a film based on a band in 1975 called Flame. Now, first of all, the film starts off and Flame haven't formed. We have a band with an Elvis-like singer, played by Alan Lake, I believe, who plays the singer, and they're like at this sort of wedding or whatever like this, and the band he's got with him is pretty much most of Slade. You've got Dave Hill, Jim Lear and Don Powell there, who are the members of Slade. They're in this band, and they go to they have a bad experience with the drummer, and it's quite funny. Dave Hill character sort of like lifts up the skirt of this girl when he's with his boot when he's on stage, and they all go ooh, and then the fight breaks out and they lose their drummer, so they get the new drummer in, which is the guy there from Slade. So they're all there complete, and then they go to their agent, who's not very nice, should we say. He's a little bit of a sort of like a gangster in a way, and he's sort of like their sort of talent agent, and he's they've gone to him to look for a gig and gigs, but he just gives them really bad sort of kind of cheap sort of gigs, you know, nothing really kind of like that's going to get them anywhere. So they're not happy with it. Anyway, they attend these gigs, and at one of the gigs they're supported by another group. They're supporting a group called the Undertakers, and lo and behold, the lead singer of that group is Noddy Holder. Now I'm not going to use I'm not going to even remember their names in the film because I am terrible with names. But I'm sure he plays Screecher, or Scoocher, something like that. Let's have a look. Just see if they've got a cast. Yeah, we've got the cast here. So what we do, let me get my glasses and I will read off the cast here. Because they're not playing Slade, they're playing a different group called Flame. Right, so Dave Hill's character is Barry. Noddy plays Stoker, not Steaker. Stoker, and Jim plays Paul, and Don Powell plays Charlie. Now their manager Ron Harding, I think his name is, played by Johnny Shannon. He's like the villain of this film. Yeah, anyway, so they're supporting the Undertakers, and in their band Stoker, he comes in a coffin, and he starts singing a song inside a coffin, and he's supposed to come out, but because they got such a bad deal from the manager, Ron, they've played a trick on him. They've put a padlock on this coffin, so he can't get out. So he's singing away, trying to come out, and he can't. And he starts bashing the coffin and stuff like this. And eventually they get an axe, and they break the coffin, and out he pops, and away he goes. And he goes, "Where is he?" So then the Undertakers go on a car chase after our band, who were sitting at this moment in the cafe after their car sort of broke down. So all the money they made, which was £10, is pretty much gone onto the car. And we have a little bit of a car chase. And then there's an accident and the car tips over. And Noddy Holder's character, I'm going to forget all the time, Stoker, goes over and helps them out. And then they sort of become friends, sort of thing. None of the band really like, what's his name, the character, the Elvis impersonator. It's Alan Lake plays the part, and he plays the part of Jack Daniels. Anyway, nobody likes his singing because he's like a sort of Elvis-y sort of singer. They don't like him. But they sort of persuade Stoker to join the band, and then they sort of join the band and they do a show together. Ron knows about this, the manager, and he's letting them do a show, see how they get on. And while they're doing this show, there is somebody there watching them, and they're really good, and they're Slade, and they play an amazing sort of like song, and off they go. So we can see what's going to happen. So then this guy that's been watching them goes to a corporate company, and the big boss of that is played by Tom Conti, and he wants to make a deal with the band to make them famous and big. So of course they're going to say yeah, because you know it's money. So he gets them to do all these crazy publicity stunts. They go out to like a Radio Caroline sort of thing in the middle of the sea on an old oil rig, and they get shot at there, but it's all set up just to get them publicity and all this sort of thing. And they become quite famous, this Flame, and they sort of like release records and have a big sort of following and all this kind of thing. But in this, as always, when fame hits, there's things that hit certain people differently. You know, like Barry doesn't want to leave his home with his wife. He likes where he lives. It's all based in Sheffield, in South Yorkshire. The fact is that they're all from sort of like, they're all breweries, aren't they? But it's all based like in Sheffield. And it's got some wonderful, wonderful scenes of Sheffield in the 1970s. And he doesn't want it to change, but unfortunately they do. And then that sort of implodes within the band. And then we get sort of like a crime thriller story going on behind it, with Ron, their gangster sort of manager, not their manager, but their agent, and Tom Conti over the sort of like contract sort of thing. And all these sort of things go on. And the band hit popularity really quick, a little bit like Gary Newman did. He sort of made it big so quick and then imploded and then sort of ended it all quick. And this is the same sort of thing that happens in this film, but it's just sort of like plays out really, really well. But let's talk about the characters.